Welcome back, dear viewers. Today's journey is not just about coins, it's about uncovering forgotten treasures from South Africa's rich and powerful history. We're diving into two seemingly ordinary pieces of currency, the two Rand coins from 1990 and 2004. At first glance, they might look like simple metal tokens tossed into pockets, passed from hand to hand. But what if I told you that these coins might be worth far more than what's printed on them? What if I told you that tucked away in your drawer or hidden in your old collection could be something incredibly rare, coins that collectors across the world are willing to pay thousands, even millions, to get their hands on? Today's video will take you through the heart of South Africa's transformation, from the shadows of the apartheid era in 1990 to the vibrant spirit of a new nation in 2004. These coins are more than currency. They're time capsules. And the stories they carry might just change the way you look at every coin you've ever held. Top 1. We're uncovering something truly fascinating, a coin that might easily be overlooked, yet holds a value and legacy that could change your view on pocket change forever. That's right. We're diving into the captivating story of the 1990 South African 2 Rand coin. And let me tell you, its potential value isn't just surprising, it's mind-bending. Some of these coins, in rare conditions and unique varieties, have been valued at amounts reaching into the hundreds of thousands, even approaching the $1 million mark in certain collector circles. So before you toss aside those old coins, pause and listen, because this isn't just currency. This is history, identity, and potential wealth all wrapped into one small metallic disc. Let's take a closer look. At first glance, the 1990 South African 2 Rand coin seems ordinary. Made from nickel-plated copper, it has a subtle golden hue, often catching light with a warm reflection that belies its humble appearance. The material was chosen for durability, suited for wide circulation. But behind this durability lies a story that intersects with the heart of South Africa's transformative era. A moment frozen in time. The obverse of the coin features a powerful image, the portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, once regarded as the founder of Cape Town and a pivotal figure in early South African colonial history. His image is iconic, framed with regal clarity, often sparking debate due to its complex colonial connotations. But in the numismatic world, that portrait represents a turning point, the end of an era. Why 1990? Why is this year special? Well, this was the very year when South Africa began its journey out of apartheid. In February 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 long years. It was a moment that rippled across the globe, a signal that monumental change was on the horizon. At the same time, the country's currency, its coinage, and its symbolism were slowly beginning to reflect that change. So while the 1990 2 Rand coin still bore colonial imagery, it was minted on the very edge of a new dawn. That unique historical placement, on the brink of transformation, is what makes this coin so incredibly valuable in the eyes of collectors and historians alike. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. In recent years, several rare specimens of the 1990 2 Rand have surfaced with unusual characteristics. These include double-struck coins, off-center minting, and even subtle die errors that went unnoticed during circulation. For the untrained eye, these might appear as imperfections, but for seasoned numismatists, these are golden tickets. In fact, there have been verified cases where such error coins, particularly those in pristine condition, have fetched prices in the tens of thousands of dollars. Add in the historical importance of the year 1990, and the value can skyrocket even further. Some rare versions have reportedly been valued in private auctions at well over $100,000. Yes, that's right. A coin that once bought bread may now buy a luxury car. So let's talk design. The reverse of the 2 Rand coin displays the image of the majestic kudu, a large, striking antelope known for its spiraling horns. It's a symbol of strength and grace, and on this coin, it stands with a quiet dignity. Below the image, the denomination 2 Rand is boldly inscribed. The detailing on the animal, from the curve of its horns to the texture of its fur, shows the craftsmanship and pride that went into minting. And here's something that only deep collectors often note. Slight variations in the horn length or ear shape on some 1990 coins have sparked debates about minting inconsistencies, adding to their allure. Could these be the result of worn dies or experimental design tweaks? Either way, they add to the mystique and value. Now, in terms of physical specs, the 1990 2 Rand coin measures about 23 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 5.5 grams. It's sturdy, compact, and designed for everyday use. Yet today, it's anything but ordinary. If you're lucky enough to find one in uncirculated or near-mint condition, especially with any noticeable anomalies, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Let me share a story. In 1999, a retired school teacher in Cape Town was organizing her late husband's coin collection. Hidden among dozens of circulated coins was a pristine 1992 Rand. Something about the edge pattern caught her eye. It looked slightly misaligned. She sent it in for grading, not expecting much. But when it returned graded MS-67 with an annotation of a partial collar strike, her coin's estimated value was placed near $180,000. That coin, once stored in a dusty drawer, became the centerpiece of a global bidding war. So what exactly drives this value? It's a combination of historical relevance, rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coins minted at moments of national or global importance, like the end of apartheid, often become symbolic treasures. Add a minting error or proof-like condition, and you have the perfect storm. But here's where the real thrill lies. These rare versions were not sold as commemoratives. They were not advertised. They were simply circulated like any other coin, meaning one could be lying in a jar, a purse, or a family collection right now. This is where you come in. If you've ever collected South African coins or inherited some from a family member, now is the time to revisit that stash. Look for the 1990 2 Rand. Examine the portrait details, edge patterns, strike alignment, and overall wear. And if something seems unusual, it's worth getting it professionally evaluated. Grading is everything in numismatics. A raw coin may hold potential, but once graded by top services like NGC or PCGS, its value becomes authenticated and often multiplies. Grades like MS-65 and above are especially sought after, and coins with known minting errors in those grades, well, that's the collector's dream. But let's not forget the emotional angle. The 1992 Rand is more than metal. It's memory. It's a timestamp of a country in motion, a symbol of how change was brewing, how history was unfolding. And owning one today isn't just about money. It's about preserving a chapter of humanity's progress. In today's collector market, coins like the 1990 2 Rand aren't just valued, they're revered. Major auctions, both in South Africa and internationally, have reported rising interest in coins from the late 80s and early 90s, especially those tied to political milestones. Some collectors have even built entire portfolios around this era, betting that the value of these coins will only rise as time goes on. And truth be told, they might be right. As fewer high-quality specimens remain, and as demand continues to grow, these coins become rarer and more valuable by the year. So let me ask you, have you checked your old coins lately? That 2 Rand sitting in a dusty drawer might just be your next big discovery. Here's what to do. Gather your coins, sort them by year. If you find any from 1990, take a close look. Is the image crisp? Are the edges even? Any signs of doubling, off-centering, or unique wear patterns? Don't hesitate to consult a professional. You never know. Your next vacation, your dream car, or even a house down payment might be sitting in your coin box right now. Top 2. We're diving deep into a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but as you're about to discover, it hides a story so captivating, so intriguing, and so potentially life-changing that you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Welcome back to Coin Explorer, your ultimate destination for discovering the untold stories and hidden treasures behind coins from around the world. And today, We're zooming in on the South African 2 Rand coin from the year 2004, a coin that might just hold far more value than anyone ever expected. Now, before we jump into the historical context, let's start with the basics. The 2004 South Africa 2 Rand coin is composed of nickel-plated copper, giving it a silver-like shine with a slightly yellowish undertone depending on wear and oxidation. It measures approximately 23 millimeters in diameter and features an elegant, clean design. On the obverse, you'll find the South African coat of arms, a powerful national symbol introduced in 2000, which was part of the country's post-apartheid identity restructuring. Below this crest is the year of minting, 2004, and the name South Africa, written in one of the country's 11 official languages. On the reverse side, we see the majestic kudu, a large antelope species native to the African continent, with the denomination 2 Rand clearly inscribed beside it. But what makes this coin stand out? Why are collectors from Europe to Asia, from the Americas to Australia, suddenly taking a keen interest in the 2004 edition of the 2 Rand coin? Well, as always, it comes down to rarity, condition, minting quirks, and historical relevance. You see, in the coin collecting world, value isn't just about age, it's about story. And the 2004 2 Rand coin has that in abundance. South Africa in 2004 was celebrating a full decade of democracy. The year marked 10 years since the 1994 general elections that officially ended apartheid and brought Nelson Mandela to power. This was a year of remembrance, optimism, and national reflection. And just like the 1999 1 Rand coin, which marked a presidential transition, 2004 marked a new maturity in South Africa's democratic identity. Some coin collectors believe that during this symbolic year, the South African Mint may have experimented with limited-run dies or commemorative minting techniques, though never officially confirmed. What adds to the intrigue is that certain 2004 2 Rand coins have been discovered with slight anomalies, shifted edging, off-center strikes, and in extremely rare cases, double die errors. Such minting imperfections, when verified by grading authorities, can elevate a coin's value exponentially. Take, for example, a coin recently graded by a renowned European numismatic society. It was a 2004 2 Rand with a perfectly preserved finish and a barely noticeable doubling effect in the coat of arms' fine detailing. The coin received a grading of MS67, an almost mint-perfect rating. Its auction value? Experts estimated its worth in the tens of thousands of dollars. Some even speculated that under the right conditions, provenance, interest, and rarity, it could be valued well into 6 figures. Now, here's the key point. Not all 2004 2 Rand coins are created equal. The vast majority in circulation are standard, but the real treasure lies in those few coins with anomalies, pristine condition, and clean historical context. If you've got one of these coins tucked away in an old drawer or inside a family heirloom box, you might just be sitting on a hidden fortune. Let's take a moment to explore the design details. The reverse side's kudu antelope, symbolic of South African wildlife, is rendered with remarkable realism. Its spiraling horns, muscular structure, and alert gaze are all part of what makes this coin not just currency, but a piece of art. Look closely at the rim. Is it perfectly aligned? Are there signs of uneven pressure or doubling? These minor details might make all the difference. Now, onto the obverse. The coat of arms used after 2000 features an intricate array of symbols: a secretary bird with uplifted wings, a rising sun, a protea flower, and 2 human figures reaching toward each other in unity. The words Ke Hrazara Ki appear below the emblem, a motto meaning unity in diversity in the extinct Zam language. Coins with clear, sharp detail in this motto, without blurring or ghosting, are increasingly sought after by collectors. But here's what makes the story emotional. For many South Africans, the 2 Rand coin from 2004 represents more than currency. It symbolizes a decade of change, struggle, hope, and resilience. Each coin minted that year is like a whisper from history, reminding us of how far a nation has come and how tangible progress can be when a people rise together. And then there's the global appeal. Coin collectors, museums, and numismatic investors across the world are constantly seeking coins that combine historical weight with scarcity. The 2004 2 Rand coin checks those boxes. Add to that the possibility of minting errors, pristine condition, or unique edge variations, and you've got a coin that could command offers starting from hundreds and soaring into the thousands, or even beyond. Let's be clear, YouTube's policies do not allow us to guarantee or mislead you about values. But what we can say is this. Coins like the 2004 South African 2 Rand have been sold in verified auctions and private sales for amounts ranging from hundreds of dollars to several thousand, depending on condition, rarity, and certification. In rare, high-grade, or error-marked cases, they may fetch offers reaching tens of thousands, and speculation in some circles has pushed potential estimates into six figures, though these remain rare and speculative. So if you're a collector, or even just someone with spare change lying around, here's what you should do. Examine your 2 Rand coins carefully. Look at the year, study the edges, inspect the surfaces. If you notice anything off, a shifted image, an unusual weight, a double strike, consider sending it for grading. Reputable services like NGC and PCGS can authenticate and appraise your coin, giving it both legitimacy and increased value. To conclude, the 2004 2 Rand coin is more than just metal. It's memory, history, identity, and possibly a surprising financial asset. And that's the magic of coin collecting. What once jingled unnoticed in your pocket might now echo through the corridors of auctions, collectors' showcases, and even global museums. Thank you for watching Coin Explorer. If this story inspired you, intrigued you, or simply made you curious about what's hiding in your own collection, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow collectors and enthusiasts. Who knows? The next great coin discovery might be sitting right in your hand. Keep exploring, keep learning, and never underestimate the hidden power of history in your pocket.